안녕하세요. Welcome to class. This is our final class for this semester. So I prepare a kind of special session for us to look back what happened in Korea in 1950s, which is about 60 years ago, and what is now today. And of course, it is time for you to think about the present and also the future of Korea. Let's begin. So titled Korea, Then and Now. So look at some of statistics. As you can see here, 1953, we have only $1,300 GDP. Compared to that, 2004 increased tremendously. It's about roughly little less than 600 times. This is incredible change and increase. Again, the exports of goods and service, as you can see in this graph, the Korea is number one. In Japan, there are other strong exporter, but Korea is right there. If you look at this chart, Korea is ranked number 10. So one of the poorest country in 50 years ago, but now is one of 10th largest economy. Again, this is puzzled a lot of developer and economists. Okay. Other small facts here, the Korea shipbuilding ranking is number one in global industry. And automotive industry, strong car maker these days. I'm sure some of you are very familiar with the brand name like Hyundai and Kia. This is number 5. So very competitive. Semiconductor industry. These days, the Samsung semiconductors is very famous. Of course, other following the industries, but overall ranked number 3 in global industry by the year of 2008. Steel industry, the Korean steel industry ranked number 6. Again, these statistics support the previous standings of Korea in terms of economic development and size these days. Of course, the national income also increased tremendously. These are the other countries. Japan, over $30,000 per Korea, a little lower, and Czech, Portugal, and others. So again, the national income also increased tremendously. Internet user, that's kind of very ongoing phenomenon in Korea. The Korea Internet Access Ranking is number 11 in the global industry in the year of 2008. But if you look at Norway, Sweden, it's much smaller population. So in terms of the whole size of population, is Korea a very internet-oriented communication you can find in these days. But at the same time, there is a dark side or negative side of these developments and transformation. Japan and Belgium, France, these are typically the countries which is famous, well known for a high suicide rate. But now, surprisingly, South Korea is number 1 among OECD countries. These are very surprising results. And to explain this phenomena, again, we need to think about the social transformation and cultural conditions in others. So this is another very noticeable facts about what's going on in Korea. Fertility rates, another interesting social statistics here. As you can see, Japan 1.26, USA over 2, and as you can see, 2005 barely just over 1, which means one of the lowest fertility rates in 2005. This trend continues, even getting worse. So again, this is going to be a serious challenge for Korean society in the future. It will be a so critical factor to understand Korean demographics. Again, this could be a very dangerous situation for the developments. So again, this is going to be a challenge for Korean government. And also at the same time, the social scientists we need to analyze what's the conditions and reasons for this kind of developments. Next page. So, I just touched few numbers for you to have a kind of overall view about what's going on in Korea these days compared to 50 years ago. So it's 10th largest economy, number one shipbuilders, semiconductors. It's a great achievement. But at the same time, as you can see, some of numbers of like suicide rates, fertility rates, I mean second lowest in the whole world, is a negative side or dark side of that change. So these are the interesting, at least, and very serious issues for us to analyze and understand, and what brought this change, and also what this change will bring Korea to the future. So that'll be an interesting forum for us. So these days, these are the hot issue. What makes Korea tech? What makes Korea achieve this economic developments and others? Well, there seems to be four main factors here. First, historical background. The very experience of Korean people, experiencing Korean War, and also previous to that, there's a colonization experience. So, I mean, the experience of hardship and difficulties makes Korean people work hard and meet the challenge and try to overcome the present handicaps. So this historical experience should be one of the driving force for this change. And scholars agree that the influence of Confucianism too. We looked at Confucianism as a social thought or social philosophy. And if you look at the emphasis of ethics, the value over the community spirits, and this importance of harmony and order, certainly this played certain part in this development and change. So people study the Confucianism in particular in this context. Third factor, strong leadership and development plan. There are pros and cons, different views about the role of, let's say, a previous leader, President Park Chung-hee. He's the one who actually lead and proposed the first economic development plan, so-called 5-year development plan. And with that policy and strong leadership, the scholars agree that the basic foundation were laid, and again, that's what make things possible today. So even though there was controversies over his dictator-like leadership, but certainly there was economic plan laid out in the time, 1960s, and also strong drive by the strong leader at the time. And also the study about chaebol and dedicated workers. This is interesting term, chaebol. This same term can be used in Japan too, but there's the small number of family members owns a large corporate, multi-corporate bodies. And even today, we can imagine the Korean economy without several chaebol like Samsung and Hyundai, etc. So certainly there's serious contributions made by chaebol, but at the same time, this chaebol system, which is very unique, but yet is criticized for various reasons. First, the poor system of corporate governance is basically governed by a few members of a family, and also a lot of scandals also existed. So it's a point of controversies these days, and so a lot of people expect chaebol will evolve and experience a new change in the future, but something that we're going to look at in the future developments. And also, not only the owners, the shareholders, they are the ones who run the chaebol system. But the dedicated workers, I mean, the working one of longest hours still among OECD countries. So work for the company and also work for the family. And it's quite well-known facts, the dedicated workers and their work ethics. So, of course, there could be other factors you can add, or you can read other literature in this regard. But these are things, again, I think they contribute to current Korea is standing in the world economy and world cultures. And again, we go back to the first question, what makes Korea tick? So this is going to be interesting discussion in your future classes or your future studies. So I end these slides with a big question mark here, the Korea's place in the world. I quote that from one of the famous books written by American scholars about Korean history, but I like it, the very phrase, what's the Korea's place in the future? Korea is still one only nation divided by Cold War ideology. There are nuclear threats, but at the same time, the growth of South Korea is hard to believe. And so with all these different factors, and there's China and Japan, so this Northeast Asia in a wider perspective, and also the Korean society, and also this kind of international developments will certainly change the Korea's place in the world in the future. So I hope you enjoy the whole semester. There are many questions to be further investigated, but I hope this will give you a kind of overall general introductory to the studies of Korean culture. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.